What up tubers, Bunny here, and this week we're back in Minecraft. So in this video, I'm planning on creating a causeway over this bay area here. So without further ado, let us get started. So I have this highway over here, and if you follow it this way, it goes into this little city here, if my game wouldn't lock up. It goes into this little city here called Houston Bay. However, if you follow it this way, something happens. The road ends. So in this video, I'm thinking about extending the road. I'm going to use this island. There are some other islands. Give me a moment. I'm going to use this island, and then this little peninsula right here. I'm going to create a causeway that takes that road over there, over this bay area here. And then I'm going to connect it with this road over here on the other side. Oh, and I should also mention that although this looks like an ocean, it's really just it's more an oversized lake, if you will. However, I call it a bay. Oh, and last thing before I start building, I should note that this roadway, I built it maybe 3 years ago. So yeah, I built this road 3 years ago, back in 2016. And for these 3 years, this area right here was where the road ends. And in recent times, I've created this little roadway right here, which if you follow it, it goes over to this little harbor area there. But that's unimportant as far as this video is concerned. So without further ado, after a wait of 3 years, it is finally time to connect those two ends of the road, the second end being hidden beyond the bridge. So without further ado, let's go ahead and build a causeway. Okay, so before I begin commentary on this time lapse, I should make an amend. Because I realize I said 3 years, but actually it has been 4 years. Somehow I managed to lose a year in between. But anyway, on to what I am doing here. And what I'm currently doing is creating a slope of dirt that extends into the ocean, reaches down to the floor, kind of covering up a little bit of what is underneath the causeway's road itself. And I create a few such slopes throughout this construction process. So right now I'm making preparation for building the drawbridge. And a moment ago you saw me considering building this bridge to be very tall. But then I decided to ditch that idea because it looked a little bit ridiculous. So I should probably explain why am I building a bridge over what will eventually become a water strait. Well, the reason for that is at the opposite side of the bay I have placed a harbor. It's kind of a combination between a cargo port and a passenger port. But the point is, the ships that are sailing in and out of this port are supposed to be the huge ships like you would see in some of those harbor cities. So that's the explanation for why I'm keeping this section of water. So for the time being, my focus is aimed towards the portions of the road that are on the land itself, as well as the little anchor sides of the bridge. I'm not actually going to get to the retracting part of the bridge itself until later in the build. In fact, that is something that happens the next day because this happened to be a 2-day project. So right now I am trying to determine what kind of railings I want to have alongside of the bridge anchors. You'll notice that first I was considering an inner railing made of iron bars and then an outer railing made of prismarine walls. However, I then decided get rid of the iron bars and replace the prismarine walls with sandstone walls. So here I'm creating the bridge anchor for the other side, And I think I'm also going to be extending the causeway road along these other side barrier islands at this point, and then extend this new portion of the road up to my pre-existing road. So if you've noticed at the beginning of the video, the islands upon which I built this causeway, they were completely made out of sand. However, spoiler alert, by the time I finished this project, I capped portions of these islands with grass. And I did this so that I can make my causeway look like some of the causeway that you might drive on if you're heading to one of the barrier island beaches along southeastern United States Atlantic coast. Right now what you're seeing me doing is creating a slope of sand that extends down into the ocean off the side of where my highway is. And as you notice, I'm using fence posts to hold this sand up because if you are a seasoned Minecraft player, you know that sand will fall down if there is nothing beneath it to support it. Now, I'm sure that for these causeways, I could just do vertical walls. But you know, where's the aesthetics in that? Why not just go the extra mile to make the causeway look a little bit more pretty, don't you think? So here I'm just doing a little bit more of highway construction. There's a portion of road that once built will connect an island and a nearby peninsula together to form a larger peninsula. So there's two more slopes into the water that I have to build. However, the water in this area here is rather shallow, so I don't need to worry about making them steep and spending like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes creating them. I think after that there's only one more slope that I had to deal with. However, work on that was rather minimal. So at this point I just need to connect my new portion of the road with the old portion of the road that I built in previous times. And as I catch glimpses of the intersection of this highway and a motorway that goes nearby this road, I am considering redoing that portion, that interchange, really that portion of land and area right there in the future. I'll probably do that off camera though. And as you see here, I am finishing up the connection. Now it's just to do a few more things. As you see me doing here, I'm placing some grass alongside the edge of the road. In a moment, I'm going to be creating a building from where somebody can operate the drawbridge. He or she can watch the ships or boats, really, any kind of aquatic vehicle. He or she can watch them coming and going and open and close the drawbridge as needed. And after that, it is to build the bascule portion of the drawbridge itself. And then after that, just a few finishing touches. Oh, should I have given you a spoiler alert as to what I'm about to do? Whoa, wait a second. Am I building the drawbridge first? Oh, okay, I thought I built the building first. I guess it was the drawbridge I built first. Yeah, I'm building the drawbridge first. My mistake. So if you've noticed on drawbridges, the road surface is kind of a metal grate as you go over the bascule portion. I've actually recreated this grate-like appearance in this drawbridge by using scaffolding. And with the construction of the bascule portion of the bridge, my road is, technically speaking, complete. I mean, like I said, there's a few more touches that I want to make, but otherwise, I have got myself a complete road connection after 4 years. And as you might have noticed a minute ago, I created what are supposed to look like pistons that help move the bridge up and down. Obviously, they're not functional. And what you just saw me do just now was adding road markings along the bridge itself. And okay, this is the part where I create the building. It's actually a bit of a tower, because like I said, somebody needs to make sure that all the ships and boats coming in and out of the bay are able to get through, and so he or she needs to open the drawbridge. And you really can't get that good of a view unless you are 50 feet above the ground. Besides, people are going to need a place of refuge should a storm come through that floods these very low-lying land pieces. Not that I anticipate such a storm, especially seeing how this is just a Minecraft world and you don't get those kinds of storms, mind you. However, the building is set in case a storm should blow through because I added gutters along the edge of the roof. And I also have a little bit of a drainage ditch that allows the rainwater from the gutters to flow out back into the ocean. I mean, not that that drainage ditch would be much help should there be a flood come through the area, but... Oh, you know, I just realized, I think I forgot to furnish the upper level of this building. But you know, I did add a dish on top, so the bunnies up in the building tower can communicate with the other bunnies back at the port. And now the last thing I need to do in this project is add the finishing touches, so first thing on that list is to add signs along the road. Oh, and as you see me doing, I'm adding signal lights indicating when it's safe to cross the bridge and when it's not. Also, on one of the islands I transformed, I added a little dirt runoff where bunnies can park their cars, and they can go over to that little peninsula's beach, and they can do some fishing or maybe some swimming. Though I'm not sure about swimming, you'd probably be swimming at your own risk. So right now I'm just gonna take a little look at what I've done so far, and now I'm going to actually start working on the island that I was just talking about. And in a moment you're also gonna notice that I was considering placing a sign, but then I wasn't sure what I ought to write on the sign, so I ditched that idea. And then the very last thing that I do before I wrap up this project is add a couple overhead signs. Because as you've probably noticed in the video, near where the causeway begins is a highway interchange. And I decided at this very last moment to add some signs just to give some directional information, since this highway is one of the main roadways that you're going to come upon if you choose not to take the freeway across the bay. And that just about wraps up that project. I actually had to slow down the time-lapse so that I can finish my thoughts. I'm actually going to shut up now, and then I'll show you a post-time-lapse showcase of this causeway. Does and Gentlebucks, I present to you the Simon B. Haret Causeway, and that is what I'm calling this road. I don't know if you can read it, but it says Honorary Highway Simon B. Haret. Who is Simon B. Haret? He's actually an animation character that I came up with. I'm actually doing a little bit of animating as I create these videos. I'm actually hoping sometime this year I'll post a few episodes in a series called Adventures in Rabbit World, where Simon is the main character. So anyway, let me show you my build. So this is one of the overhead signs. So this way will lead to B Route 63. This route leads to B Route 55. So if I go this way, I will show you the causeway. So it's set at a speed limit of, I don't know, did I place a speed limit sign here? No, I did not. It's at a speed limit of 45 miles an hour. Well, not miles an hour, actually. It's paces per second is actually the speed unit that I use. In fact, see here? 35 paces a second is the recommended speed around this S-bend here. So here's the island. Here's that dirt runoff that I told you about. Here's your little beach. And I'm actually thinking that this little beach area here might see some usage in the animation series. So here's the drawbridge. As you can see, the material is prismarine bricks. I decided, since we're building this by an ocean, why not use prismarine bricks? And this is the Here is the basketball part of the drawbridge. See the scaffolding. And actually, if you shift, I'm actually inside of the bridge section. I was actually surprised to find out that I don't actually fall through, which is a good note. And see the pressure plates used for clicking. Sounds like a bunch of keyboards being typed at the same time. So here's the portion of the causeway beyond the drawbridge. And the peninsula, in my opinion, actually makes the shape of a question mark. If I zoom out, well, not zoom out, but fly up, as you can notice, it seems to make a question mark shape. I'm actually thinking I'll dub this peninsula question mark peninsula. And then over here is the drawbridge operations building. So I'll walk in. It's a little bit of walk to the stair. So I climb up here, I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and there should be control panels. I'll get to that in a little bit, probably off camera. I'll probably include a screenshot at the very end of this video. So here you can take a look at the boats and ships as they come in and out of the bay. You can get that bridge open. Now to go back downstairs, back out again, I just use a little coarse dirt driveway. Actually, I think I will add a corner there. Oh no, don't crash on me. Ugh. Okay. As you see this bridge portion right here, I had to bust away some column so that I could fit this road underneath. And then over here is where the causeway ends and one of my pre-existing roads begins. And that is the tour of the causeway, and that is actually going to do it for this week's video of Minecraft. So I'm thinking in next week's video, I'm going to go back to automation. I want to mess around with some delivery van ideas. Well, one anyway. I'll build that, and then if I have time, I'll take it over to BeamNG Drive, it being the video, I should be more specific. And then I'll test out the delivery van there. But anyway, that concludes this week's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. India Alpha Bravo checking out.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.